What up, what up, what up? Happy Friday, happy Friday. You know what it is. Oh, man, you know. I'm feeling great. I hope you're feeling great. Oh, I got the dog over here trying to lick over my leftover residue of chips that I dropped. Don't mind me. What's going on, everyone? I'm Shadell, co-host of Paging the Simpsons. I'm joined by my lovely fiance,
Lauren, who's not inhaling chips in between takes.
Man, I needed it. I was like, oh, I'm getting a headache, and I'm not sure about anyone else, but if I don't eat for a while, I start getting a little headache, and I'm like, I gotta eat something.
Wow, and chips is a great option for that.
It was tasty. It was great. Oh, man. So what's going on, everyone? So as you see on this podcast title today, I want to talk about why representation matters. Because from the conversation I had with you, and also the conversation I had with my friends, I don't know. I feel like this conversation needs to be had or started or something. Because I think there's some issue with the way things are or how things are unfolding, if that makes any sense. So I want to talk, I want to start with you. So I think yesterday or the day before, you were what did they call it? They're making a, what was it, all black show or couples or something? Something like that.
Oh, God, you're going to roast me.
I'm not roasting you. We're talking about it.
You blasted me.
We're talking about it. So I'm like, what's the problem with that? Why can't we have, what was it, an all black couple?
It was I think if I'm getting it correct, it's celebrity couples and I think maybe it's reality, maybe it's a talking about your love, I don't know, something like that. I'm not exactly sure what the context of the show is, but it's celebrity couples and they are all black.
Okay.
And it's called, I don't know if it's Black Love or something like that. I don't know.
Okay. And your question was, why do we need to have a show like that, right?
Mine was more so, I don't know. It's more with today you're seeing all of the interracial dating and you're seeing all of the kind of coming together and the, I guess you would say, acceptance of more diversity and diverse relationships and all that stuff. Uh-huh. And so I don't know. For me, I love how the cord's shaking because she's over there. For me, I don't know. When I look at two white people together, to me, that's average. So, when I look at two black people together, that's average to me. When I look at two people of the same race, for me, I feel like that's the average couple. I don't want to say normal because, normal is such a weird word, but you know what I mean? It's expected, okay? Because you're from the same race and maybe you're in an environment and in a area of the town or wherever you are that maybe is not as diverse, and so it's more expected that you're with someone of your same race. Mm-hmm. So for me, it's not that big a deal, I guess, that it's oh, it's all about, it's only black love and it's this big thing. I see people, I guess, idolizing the two black people together a lot more, where they're and my queen and my black queen, and I'm gonna praise her and all this stuff, and people who are I'll only date black men or whatever, and I don't know, it's to me that's kind of feeding into the separation. If you're only, because that's the same thing if I were to say I'm only gonna date white people and I wasn't open to anything.
What's the problem with that?
It seems
a lot of races do it. Jewish people do it. They don't want to date Jewish people.
Yeah, well, I'm not getting into religion. That's a whole other thing. I'm just going with more race-based here. I don't know. To me, I've always just been that kind of person. I'm open to whatever. If you're a good person, that's what I'm looking for. I'm not looking for, specifically what you look like. Just I've never had a specific type, oh, I like this feature and this fit. Yeah. I'm just, if you're cool and you got a cool personality and we hit it off, then great. And I don't know, I feel like you're restricting yourself if you're not open. to possibilities. But I feel like, again, maybe it is kind of like what you were going to bring up with the Jewish thing. Maybe it's within the Black community, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not sure, but maybe it's more, I don't know, again, idolized. Maybe that's like a bigger deal.
No, let me break this down for you. It's, again, representation matters. There needs to be a show or a few shows, let's say, of there being a Black family where it doesn't include any of the family members being in jail. I don't even know any of the stereotypes, being a thug, being anything. Like, we just need them to just live their lives. Like shows like Cosby, shows like Family Matters.
Right. See, when you're talking about a show, you're talking about like a comedy or a drama or whatever. This show in particular is real people talking about their real lives. Okay. So it's different. I understand the representation you're looking for in how families look on those kind of shows. That totally makes sense. Okay. That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay. So what are you talking about? Because I'm talking about like actual, like, instead of actors, you're talking about actual real people. Okay. So are we talking about like a Love and Hip Hop thing where they still have majority Black cast? Like, I need more context to what you're saying.
I don't know. I never understood Love and Hip Hop and all that. I never got into any of those.
If we're going with that,
or Housewives or whatever.
But if I'm going with that, what's wrong with having a show like that? Because you still have like the whole like mob wives shows or whatever white reality shows there are. Like those. Like,
I never
what's
got
the
into
problem?
Those. So I'm not
Even though you didn't get into those, I'm saying, like, so what's the problem with having like a Black love show? Like, okay, it's just another show.
It's not a problem. Okay, when I'm talking about it, I don't find a problem in it. I'm not like the people who are all up in arms about Ariel. Like, I'm not like, oh, this is an issue. We shouldn't have this. It should only be white. Like, I'm not like that. I'm just simply saying, in this day and age, with all the possibilities and all the rights we have to have different relationships with different people of anything, like color-wise and sexuality-wise and all that, I'm like, I don't know. It seems standard to me to have same-race couples.
Why not have that? Why not have that with have everything? I want to have a show for everyone. So you have two white couples, two Black couples, two interracial couples, whether they be Black and white.
I think it'd be better to have a show where it shows the diversity versus like it's in this box of.
But it doesn't.
This is all that's accepted.
Great, but people don't want diversity. People want what fits with them.
Okay.
So why not have those shows for those people? Why do you think like Duck Dynasty works for some people? It doesn't work for me. Do you not know it? Okay.
I do.
But like, it's not a show I would like, not a show I care for, and all that. But hey, it represents those people that like it.
I mean, Duck Dynasty isn't really about relationships, though.
It's not, but you can imagine the people that watch that.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's similar in some sense, where you're like, okay, I don't know. I feel like it's still, even though it's not about relationships, it's still within that same boat of it fitting a certain demographic of people that are going to be watching this. I feel like.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I get it. I feel like you're coming at me trying to make me look like the bad guy.
Well, I have a problem with, because like one of my friends was like, "Oh, I'm happy Gay Pride Month is over and all that stuff," and I'm just like, "Why? Like, why does it affect you?" And he's like, "I don't get anything when I say like, you know, I'm straight and all this stuff." I'm like,
"Well, that's
you're not
ridiculous.
Like, you're not." Yo, you're not being attacked for.
And I'm not attacking like.
I know you're not.
Because I'm simply saying any race that you're just dating your same race. To me, that's ordinary. Mm-hmm. Asian, white, Black, Mexican, whatever. Mm-hmm. If you're just with someone in your race, that's ordinary to me.
Okay.
So I feel like it's easier to find representation in ordinary.
Not really when you're still based on stereotypes.
True.
Like, just like we talked about this a few episodes where it's like they always portray the white family as being like, oh, great, everything's put together, there's no issues, all that stuff. Like,
guys.
So it's like, if we, like, you're getting mad about a show being about that. Like, can I get a show about a dysfunctional white family? Like,
listen, there's so many memes that always say like, oh, only Black mothers do this, or only Mexican or whatever, like mothers or fathers do this, and I'm just like, listen, nope. Like, it is very possible for white people to be crazy too. Mm-hmm. And use objects they shouldn't, and whatever, the thing is about.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like representation, no matter what race, no matter what, like there should be a show about two gay couples having, like, going through their life, whether it be a real show or a reality show.
I feel like the dysfunctional white family one was Roseanne. Because if you watched that show, the original, if you went and watched that show, they were the more realistic white family. The average, like, lower income, crazy, like, have normal problem type family. They weren't the Brady Bunch.
Yeah, because the Brady Bunch was like the upper class.
Ridiculous. Brady Bunch is ridiculous.
The Brady Bunch.
So yeah, I feel like that's kind of what represented the more average white people, you could say.
Yeah, I don't really like the Roseanne thing because I feel like it's similar to Duck Dynasty, but the people that watch this, so I'm just going to...
Well, thanks. Watched Roseanne, but not Duck Dynasty.
But you were close to it. But, like, I don't know. Like, I have that issue. Because I'm like, okay, so are you going to get mad when there's a show about two interracial couples? Or not two, but, like, like...
No, because I feel like that should be represented more.
Are you going to get mad at someone that says, hey, why do we need to see this?
Because it's happening more.
So you're telling me.
That's what I'm saying, is I feel like we already know that people can marry and date and stuff within their own race. I feel like you're supposed to stay with the times and show the diversity.
So you're telling me killing the stereotype of a black family and having a reality show or fake show, whatever you want to call it, of a black man and black woman is a problem.
I'm not saying it's you are literally, this whole episode is you trying to make me seem like a bad white person, isn't it?
No, it's not.
I had no knowledge of this, so thank you.
I'm just trying to understand this for myself, because I say this because like another comment, because I want to touch on this. So I think you know this. Yeah, Lil Nas X, he came out that he's gay. Mm-hmm. And one of my other friends was like, oh, did you hear about Lil Nas X? He came out that he's gay and all this stuff. I'm like, yeah. I'm like, that's great. I like how he's handling it and this and that. And this guy's like, yeah, like, yeah, I think it's really cool. And like, I know in like hip hop, like in the hip hop world, like they would kill him for that. It was like back in the days.
But it's not back in the day. It's today.
I didn't like that at all because it sat back and like in my head, I'm thinking, first off, that wouldn't happen.
Oh, because they stereotyping the hip hop world?
Yeah, and it's majority black people.
Yeah.
First off, that wouldn't happen. You, like, this guy wouldn't get hurt. Just people wouldn't work with you. Like, they would just make fun of you.
Wouldn't get farther.
Like, that's really what, like, what? Like,
that's just like, okay, it was a big deal because when was it? Early 2000s? It was a big deal when Lance Bass came out as gay on the cover of, what was it, People magazine or something, from NSYNC. I
was like, who's that?
That was a big deal because it was early 2000s. And it was like, I don't know, people were like shocked and didn't know how to react. Like, at least nowadays, we've come to a point where we can accept these people.
Someone's like, oh, I'm
it's not
gay,
going to affect their career. It's not going to affect, I mean, if anything, it could help their career at this point.
Yeah.
Because you look a certain way now that you are of a different community.
And I love Lil Nas X because this guy, like, since he announced this guy's funny in general. He likes trolling, so he doesn't get like mad when people like say anything.
I follow him on Twitter.
He's like the next person to say something offensive to him is getting kissed. I died when I saw that. I'm like, it's and like that's what I mean with representation. Like, we're not gonna shun this kid. And you get upset with, like, when I play the song or, like, I talk about the song or whatever, like, there's some issue there. And I'm like, yo, this is a black kid that, like, was struggling, was just making music in I think his sister's basement. Was going to get kicked out of his sister's place so he could find his own place. And this song popped for him to where he is now.
I don't have a problem with it. I just don't like the song. That's it. You're reading way too much into it.
But there's a reason why you don't like the song.
And I think it's overhyped.
I'm talking about this. So there's a story behind the song. Just like you listen to Taylor Swift stuff, there's a story behind that song. So there's a story behind his song. That's why I dig it. Forget the music. This made this kid. So this is showing, yo, if you're a black kid, keep doing what you're doing.
Well, no, I do understand that this is a big deal, that because I just saw on his Twitter the other day, he's the first person in 22 years to have it go diamond while it's number one.
Yo, he beat Drake.
That, first of all, as a person, is a huge record, and then having to be a gay black male is massive. So I can understand that. I can respect that. I don't have to like the song to respect his hustle and what he's doing. Like, you're making it out to be like I dislike him. No, it's just I'm not a fan of what he's put out so far. We'll see.
Because I was really surprised. Like, he beat Drake out. I'm like,
22 years. That's almost our whole life. I don't even know. When we were 3, what was the
probably
thing?
Like some Michael Jackson song or something. I can imagine.
1996.
Like something really
wow,
really crazy back then.
But that's
why I say like representation matters. Like, okay, so now
man,
if you're
the
like
internet. Let's talk about that. How that's changed things.
If you're like black and gay, it's like, hey, like you it's like having people similar. Like, for example, for us, we anticipate down the road having a mixed baby.
No, you don't say.
So, what that means, it's good that you have people like Drake. Who else? I'm drawing a blank on freaking mixed kids that are killing it. All I can think of is Drake right at the moment.
Oh, the guy in Key and Peele. That guy, he's mixed, isn't he?
Keegan Michael Peele. And like certain people where it's like I don't know, it's needed. I feel like that's needed. Like Obama. I know he's not like, I don't think he's white and black. Maybe he is. I think he maybe actually be.
Wasn't that the issue?
I think he may actually be. Like I think his dad's from like Ghana and his mom's from Hawaii, I believe, I think. But like, I don't know, like just see like certain things like that where it's like, okay, we're gonna have a kid in this world, and yeah, it's cool that down the road they'll be able to see like, hey, oh, we had a mixed president. We had a freaking I don't even know what you want to consider Drake killing things. You had a comedian like Keegan Michael Key. I think that's how you say his name. Yeah, that's killing it. Like, I don't know. That's why I'm like, representation matters no matter your race or sex. And I feel like people kind of pass like brush it off by saying, why do we need this? Like I may say that.
I didn't say that to be an issue. I simply, and I'm trying to emphasize this because you're. I feel like people are really going to dislike me.
Relax.
I'm just saying it's because it's ordinary.
Relax. But that's.
I'm not saying it's not necessary. I'm not saying that it's not encouraged.
I would say the same thing.
I'm not saying that you guys don't have it harder than I do.
I would say the same thing if I saw another, white show pop up. And be like, why do we need another one of these?
Yeah, because I just feel like in this day and age, the most things that need... Yes, everything needs representation, but the most things that need representation, I think, are the people like in LGBTQ community, in, mixed with whatever they're mixed with. Like, I think those are the things need more, because now that we've finally gotten to a point where it's starting to become acceptable, now we need to put them in things. So that little kids growing up can be like, cool. Just like it would be great if we had, a transgender, I don't know, politician or something, so that a kid who is questioning their identity, they can grow up quicker to realize this is okay, rather than go through as much of the debacle of I'm ashamed and this is wrong and there's nobody out there like me, that kind of thing.
It's happening. It's just not happening in the pace that it sounds like you want it to happen. Like, for example, you have like
it takes forever. Let's be real.
You have a gay man, regardless of his race, running for president. You have Pete Buttigieg there, like has a gay husband, everything. Like, oh my gosh. She's saying not because of him
not because gay. No, God, no. Don't skew my Yeah. No, it's just politics wise.
But it's like it happens. The girl that's in, I think, Laverne Cox.
Yeah.
Like, it happens. It just takes time, and we're seeing like currently it's the whole like pushing women right now.
Yeah.
So, like, you see the whole thing with Marvel with Captain America and like different. So it's
even and there's I guess at like the New York Pride, there were a lot of people speaking out about the violence towards specifically black transgender women.
'Cause it is crazy.
And how that specifically is a big issue. Mm-hmm. Because again, you have the race and you have now the gender against you.
Yep.
How crazy is that? Let's just talk about that for a minute. To think in your head, especially say you're white, okay, and you're born a male, but you're transitioning to female. Think about that for a minute, that you're knowingly going from a more like beneficial position in the world now to a less beneficial position. But if you don't do that, you're not true to yourself and you're not happy. That's got to be such a weird position to be in, because you know that as like a white male, you would have it all, but you're making the choice because obviously it's not who you are. But that's got to be an interesting position to be in. And then, yes, if you add a black male into that to female, that's a very...
Yeah.
Wow.
You can bring up Bruce transitioning to Caitlyn at the time. Like, that, like, him being, even though he was in a well-respected position, I from time to time I see like these people make fun of him like on forums, or her I should say, sorry, on forums, and it's just like it's nasty. Like, I think I saw this on some like local forum last month, and just what people were saying, I'm like, wow. People
were mean because Kylie Jenner had posted a picture with her on Father's Day. And basically was saying like Happy Father's Day and like all that kind of stuff, and people were flipping because they're like, well, what the hell, like what are you talking about, and this person, all the derogatory things you could say, and like, no, it's like at the end of the day, I mean, was still her father, based on how she came into the world and things like that. So, and it's different for everybody how they want to go about that in the future. But
yeah, and I'm sure like Kylie was like, you want me to post this?
Yeah.
And
no, they've definitely had conversations, I'm sure, of how, like, what do you want to identify as, and what holiday do you want me to, celebrate you as, and that kind of thing.
I give it up to her that, like, you accept yourself enough to be like, go ahead, post me on there, it's fine. Like, because people are so simple-minded, they're going to be like, no,
because it's not, it makes sense, because at the end of the day, you were brought into this world, I was your father. And sure, I have a different gender identity now, but that was my title for so long, and it's just I mean, but yeah, I understand. I'm just saying, I think we're moving in the right direction with identifying and representing everybody, who's different. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, that's just more of what I want to see, and I think we are seeing that.
Yeah.
Because those are the people that really, really need it. Like I said, those are the people that, as kids, you need to be able to see, okay, like, it's not weird that I'm feeling different, or it's not weird that, my mommy's white and my daddy's black.
Yeah.
And, like, things like that. Because, again, this is something that in school, they're already going to be bullied in school for.
Well, that's what I love.
So then, if you could see it on a comedy or on a whatever, celebrities, whoever it is, you could be like, well, screw you, because normal. This famous person is dating this famous person, or whatever. Well,
speaking on like the whole, like, okay, for kids to start looking and be like, my parents, one's white, one's black. I mean, some of them, from what I've seen, it's like you don't really, it is what it is. Like, that's your mom and dad. You don't think anything of it. But when
you're young enough, yeah.
For those kids, it's like, now you're in an age where it's like, we'll go to Jordan Peele and his wife is white, or Donald Glover and his wife, I think it's the wife, is white. I mean, we can go to Drake and his dad and his mom. Mm-hmm. Like, his dad's black and his mom's white. Like it just, like, it normalizes it to being like, this is okay. Like, it's fine. And I think that's what's needed for everyone to not be like, why is this such a big deal? I want it to get to a point where it's like, it's not a big deal to be in the same I don't even know. I guess you could say like I want it to get into a point for us to actually have, let's say, to actually have a 4th of July where we all feel like free and respected and loved. That's to the point where like everything is great in the world, where we all can respect each other, we all have our differences, we all like, it's all just love, like we're all the same. I sit there and watch these shows and these game shows and everything, and you know, watch TV and all that stuff, and it's like, why do we hate each other? When you sit back and like you look at someone, like we're all the same. It's not, we act like we're like some alien.
Like that show we watch where they can win $1 million. It's like we all want to win the $1 million.
We all have problems, which are all the same problems.
Right. We all got, you know, whether it's money problems, relationship problems, job problems. We all got it. They're different, sure, but.
For the most, it's.
But we all got similar stuff going on,
like, stress
and, you know, good things like weddings and bad things like funerals and like, you know.
Life is happening for all of us, and that's why I feel like, yeah, it sucks that we need to go back to like having representation for like any and all race, gender, you know, anything.
Right. That's why I'm hoping, like we were talking about in the last episode about how a drag queen would make an amazing Ursula. And it's like, I hope someday we can get to the point where, yeah, a network like Disney or Freeform or whatever could accept that as a possibility.
Yeah, because I can see what would happen. You get backlash from the parents being like, I don't want my kid to see that.
But
that's
what I'm saying is I hope someday, I know it's not going to be,
of course,
maybe not even in our lifetime, but someday the generations will keep moving and, you know, the parents will be more accepting. You're always going to have the people that aren't. You're always going to have bigots.
Yeah.
You're always going to have racist people. You're always going to have sexist people, all that stuff.
But you want the majority.
Overall, yes.
Yeah.
So like, I can't wait for that where it's like, casting and everything, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter. If you can qualify for this part, if you prove to me that you are the best for this part, that's all that I'm doing it on. Just like, you know, per HR standards and all that stuff, like when you're, you know, hiring for a job and there's certain questions you can't ask because of laws and that, you know, it shouldn't matter. Same thing. You know, because it's just like, you know, it doesn't matter my sexuality, my race, my anything when I go in for a job interview. At least it shouldn't if it's a good person and they're not bending the rules. It's the same thing.
Yeah. I rock with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just want to have this conversation. Yeah. Because that's how I feel. I feel like, why does it matter?
Why does what matter?
Why does it matter? Why does it matter? Like what anyone is, whatever, like everything. Like we care about so many things that don't matter to us, that don't affect us, and it's just like, dog, let's all just love each other.
That's what I'm saying. Love makes the world go round.
And I know I feel like we've touched on this in other podcasts, but I just want to have like just a you know, like just a one topic discussion on it. I'm kind of, as always, I'm curious to know everyone's thoughts. Send us a voice message through Anchor, and we'll play it on the next episode, or send us an email, you know, DM through any of the social media networks down below there. I'm just curious to know anyone's thoughts on this. If you feel differently, if you feel the same, you know, let me know. Comment on one of the photos, you know, regarding this episode. Let me know your thoughts. I think that's all I really have to it. I would hope in the future to see like every race portrayed, whether that be, you know, the same race couple or family in a show or separate.
Speaking of races, so I think we're starting to get farther with Black people. One that I see as very underrepresented is Asian.
Well, yeah, that's why Crazy Rich Asians came out I think, earlier this year. And
I knew you were going to bring that up. But here's the thing. They had to be cast in a movie called Crazy Rich Asians. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we can get to a point where Asians don't have to be in an Asian movie.
But that's
like, I think that's where that respect comes in.
Hold up. You need to slow. You want these things to happen fast. Understand, there was always, whenever it was a black cast, we're slowly breaking out of this. Whenever it's a black cast, it's a black movie.
Yeah.
So again, it's happening with them. What's happening with us, but it's slowly becoming less and less of a thing. Like us. And Black Panther were like movies that like they had a black cast, but you didn't hear it being like it's a black movie. Like no, it's just a movie that had primarily black people.
To reference The Little Mermaid again, that's why it's a big deal that Halle is also Ariel, because that's the main role.
Oh.
She's not a supporting role. She's the main role. Yeah. So, I mean, that's a big deal. Rather than, the Asians or black people or whoever are like the background characters.
One thing I want to mention that you say that, I'm tired of black women being like cast as like the sassy, like angry, whatever, like.
Stereotypical, yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, why can't we be like how you.
Especially dark skin.
Yeah.
I think we referenced this before, how it's the dark-skinned black women who are the more crazy, the more mad, the more whatever.
Sassy, like all that stuff. And then the mixed one is like
the lighter one, is better, beautiful, like she's more innocent, or she's happier, or she's talks better, or whatever you want to call it. Like, what the hell is that? And that's actually one thing people were saying too. Some people, they're happy about the progress with The Little Mermaid, but at the same time they're like, it's still another light skin. They're like, when are we going to see?
Is she?
Yeah.
I really don't
if
know
you compare, I mean, if you look on the spectrum, I'd say she's pretty light. And it's like, if you,
so I want to say she's like dark. I feel like she's like maybe like my tone. I think
she's lighter than you. Really? When we were looking at the pictures, I think. Maybe. But I mean, because it's like, when is there going to be a dark-skinned black woman as a lead role in a non-stereotypical way? We have not seen that.
Pretty much.
I don't think ever. Because they always have... Like, we were just talking about this with Stranger Things.
Yeah, with the little girl.
The little girl, okay? The way... I'm sorry, I love Stranger Things. But at the same time, the way they basically are making her talk is stereotypical, because if you put a little white girl in her position, she would not have said similar things. She would not have said it with the same inflection.
Well, even,
like, you're literally playing into this.
Watching Mr. Iglesias.
Yes, there's no N.
On Netflix, and it's like the principal is like, she gets that sass and stuff on it, versus like they have the white teacher on there where she's like all petite and nice and all this stuff, and it's just like,
well, they also portray her as the dumb one, which is interesting because it's always a white girl who's,
and she's blonde and all.
She's redhead, I think. But still, it's like the little white girl is always the dumb one too, so there are stereotypes there. But
I don't know.
Yeah, I like hated how they were doing that in Stranger Things. I'm like, you can see how obvious it is that if we were to swap this same character out, you can't tell me they'd sound the exact same way or say the same things.
So like,
that's awful.
You didn't really care about it, but what was that show I watched? Lemony Snicket's Unfortunate Series. Like, they had a white girl in there, and like, I liked her because she was the sassy one in that one. And I had no problem with it, because it's like, okay, you're giving someone that's normally isn't the sassy type a sassy role. And I was fine with that. She was still funny and all that stuff. Like, I was happy with that. I want that to be the same case. Like, can we do like a role reversal here or something?
And it's like, you could say, I guess, in one breath that they're representing in a relatable way how people are, but at the same time, I feel like
all people.
Exactly. I feel like they're more so feeding into a stereotype, and more so being like, this is how all these people sound and look, and all these people sound and look, and no.
And that's what comes to the issue of when these people that are in, like, say, areas where there's not a lot of black people or Asian people, Spanish people, whatever.
They think they all act and sound like that.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you don't talk like how I thought you would talk.
Or you talk white.
That's what I'm saying. Like, we need representation.
Exactly.
Well, you have a dad, and like some people will probably be serious about that depending on places you lived.
True.
Like, that's why I feel like representation is needed for everything to kill these stereotypes that are out there. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse. I just want to get my point across on this.
Nay.
Let me know what your thoughts are. As always, if you're all set, I'm cool with wrapping this up.
I'm good.
Yeah. All right, guys. As always, let me know your thoughts. One thing I haven't said in a while, if you're listening on iTunes, please give us a rate and review.
You love us. You know you do.
Yeah, please. The support is needed. I appreciate it 100%.
Come on, guys. Come on.
With that
Give
being
it the
said,
5
guys.
stars. I'm not influencing you or anything, but I'm just saying 5 stars. Like, why not?
With that being said, guys, I'm going to catch you on the next episode. As always, I'm Shadell, co-host of Patreon Simpsons. I'm joined by my lovely fiance,
Lauren with Shadeezy.
I said that already.
No, I said Shadeezy, though.
Larizi. All right. With that being said, we'll catch you guys on the next episode.
Bye.
Peace.